I again want to say thank you to Shuchi for organising the book and for having me to help author a chapter with her. I'm Jane Waite, and I'm going to do the same as Steve. I'm going to do a shout out for two of my supervisors, because I'm doing a PhD, who are here as well. So I'm going to do a shout out to Paul Curzon, who's at Queen Mary's, and also to Sue Sentence. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So massive, great big thank you. Before I came to do research, I was a teacher, and then before that I worked in the industry for 10 years. But what's that got to do with all this? So what are you going to get out of our chapter? Well, we've kind of got a gathering of lots of different strategies which can help scaffold learning. We've got the things that are here, everybody else has talked about. So there's code reading, worked examples, use, modify, create, so that moves into constructionism at the end, and PRIMM. And I'm going to just talk about PRIMM. And because we've all been sitting here listening, I think we should do something. So you really do have to see my screen now. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do a PRIMM. So I'd like you to predict what that code is going to do. And I'm going to just sit here quietly for 20 seconds. Go. Read the code. Right, counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Did you get a chance to finish? Well, you're going to have to read the book in order to find out what it does. So what we do with PRIMM is we get children to read the code. It's all about code comprehension, which lots of people have talked about. And then we get them to run the code. Now, in the research, this is Sue Sentence's research, and I was very fortunate to be on her team with her. Some teachers, when they got to the running situation, they whipped their class up into a frenzy in order to go, their kids are going, run, run, run. Or you can ask the children to run the code themselves. Now I could run it, but I don't have time. But you can find out if your prediction is correct. So the children then run the code, or you run it on their behalf. And then there's a period of investigation. So it's P for predict is for the beginning of PRIMM, R for run, and then I for investigate. And the investigate is where we really start to get children to think about the constructs and the concepts that we're teaching them. And there's something called the block model by Carsten Schultz that can be used in order to scaffold those questions, which I would really recommend people look at because I think it's rather smashing. And then the M is for modify. So children are now starting to take responsibility for their own code. So it's not someone else's, it becomes theirs. So this draws on the use, modify, create model. And then you move into make. So we're up now, where I can do a little bit more of work that's to make it very much my own. So PRIMM is predict, run, investigate, modify, make, and it draws together code reading, use, modify, create, the block model, and also just using example code, and levels of abstraction as well. So the strategies that we've introduced in this chapter are code reading, live coding, worked examples, use, modify, create, and PRIMM. And what you get out of it are some things that you can practically do in your classroom.